Previously on Power Reviews.
Welcome to our home.
Borrowed my camera.
It was stolen. If there's anything I can do to make it up to you, you make sure to let me know.
Power surge.
Until then,
I will let you know that I had a great deal of valuable electronics in my apartment.
and you want to stay...
I still can't believe you told him he could live here.
I've been called away on business and have to start packing immediately.
Where are you going?
Far away.
And now, Database Rangers Power Review. Greetings, Ranger fans.
Salutations.
And welcome to Power Reviews, where you just can't lose if you choose to hear our views not on Kamen Rider Ooze, but on the dangers facing the Rangers that power through each half hour till we stop to drop some analysis beyond believing.
And if you don't stop now, I swear I'm leaving.
Sorry, I just thought it might be nice to commemorate our 25th episode with a little lyrical celebration.
Well, you'll excuse me if I don't find an arbitrary numerical milestone to be a valid excuse for assaulting my eardrums.
Fair enough.
So let's just stop this jive turkeying and skip directly to our summary of recent events.
Sure, go right ahead. No, wait, don't tell me.
They got new Zords.
Why am I not surprised?
Perhaps because Arsenal expansion has been the only narrative progression to have been established thus far.
Good point. Hopefully we'll finally get the plot moving today with episode 6 of Power Rangers Megaforce, Harmony and Dizchord.
While engaging in his morning constitutional in the nearby forest, Megaforce Red encounters Megaforce Pink on a cycling excursion, but is ignored due to her recreational auditory input device.
Do you mean her iPod?
I don't know what that is. Aboard the insectoid ship, Admiral Malcor introduces his cohorts to their newest ally, Dizchord.
Superstar of guitar, hotter than a quasar. The power of rock and roll is just too hot to hold. I'm tops on the yachts, awesome to the max. Electric or acoustic, I'm totally epic.
I am not going to like you.
Looks like, all appearances to the contrary, the insectoids aren't huge fans either, and decide to use Dizchord's music as a weapon against the Rangers. Back in the forest, Troy catches up to Emma, and finds her singing to the trees and flowers.
So bloom, bloom, and share your sweet perfume. Flowers bloom. Troy, what are you doing here?
Did she just crossfade her own voice?
I think the greater question here is what sort of botanical mischief is causing the flowers to bloom in such rapid succession.
Actually, I think that may have been her singing.
That can't be correct.
You're right, that would be silly.
Megaforce Pink explains how dendrophilial vocalizations remind her of her mother, heavily implying that she is deceased. But before any further elaboration on this development, Megaforce Red insists that they hurry to school.
It looks like they'll have to take the tardy slip, though, as Dizchord starts rocking out in the plaza. The painful music spreads throughout the city, affecting everyone it touches, and even managing to induce a seizure in Mr. Burley.
People say that I'm tone deaf, but I know what I like, and this music rocks. Woohoo!
There is something seriously wrong with that man. This is intolerable. I'll be in the other room if you need me.
Wait, don't leave me here! The Rangers all morph and meet up at the plaza, where they realize that the noise is causing much more pain to Troy and Emma than it is to the others.
It must be because we were closer when it first started.
Why did you all arrive at the same time? They hurry the civilians to safety and start smack-talking the monster.
Turn off that noise!
No one gives me a bad review.
We'll see about that!
People, get going!
Don't just stand here.
Either these people are really slow or the Rangers are being really pushy. Dizchord starts up a new song to strengthen the Loogies, and the Red and Pink Rangers are nearly put out of action by the debilitating pain.
You fools don't get the basic principle. The power of music is simply invincible.
Now that's just labored.
They form the Megaforce Blaster and...
Dynamic victory charge. Oh no! Huh?
Did they hit anything? No? Really? Wow, that was really lucky. The Power Rangers could have... destroyed a building. Or something. The monster counters with a blast that forces a demorph in Emma and Troy, before leaving with the Loogies to spread more mayhem.
Is that cacophony of disruptive dissonance concluded?
I think so.
Finally! Determined to rein in the erratic Dizchord, Admiral Malcor assigns Vrek to keep him in line, much to the dismay of Krepox. He accomplishes this by agreeing to act as the monster's manager, promising to create a device to broadcast his music throughout the world.
At school, Emma is still suffering, and Gia has to tell the 90s Club to turn down their fat beats.
Thanks.
But even banishing the bashful boomboxers isn't enough to mitigate Emma's migraine.
Wow. Even normal music's affecting her now.
Well, there goes my theory that the voiceovers of the last 2 seasons were just part of their samurai ventriloquist training. At the brain freeze, Troy is hurting just as bad, and when Shailesh rediscovers his personal groove, it's just too much for him to bear, and the just-arrived Gia has to intercede once again.
Thank you.
Why is she so good at that?
Because she's very, you know what? Never mind.
The music was bugging him.
Emma had the same problem.
I wonder if there's a connection here that they'll elaborate on later.
Nah.
Meanwhile, the insectoids have commandeered the local amphitheater, where they prepare to enact their evil plan.
First this sound check, then the world.
These monsters really don't believe in intermediary steps, do they? Fortunately for Megaforce Rangers Red and Pink, they're outside the city when the auditory attack commences.
Unfortunately, though, the rest of the team is not, and when they try to contact Troy, it disrupts his camera angles so bad he has to hang up on them.
Deeming their teammates too susceptible to the threat, the 3 arrive at the amphitheater without them, where they are met with a vicious attack from Vrak.
Kinda makes me wonder why he didn't fight the Rangers last time. Assuming that was him last time. I mean, Noah seems to recognize him, which would suggest that Vrak and V-Rock are one and the same, but he looks so different that he would only have his voice to go on, and it's not like his hearing wouldn't already be compromised by Dizchord, and,
Don't know, I've gone cross-eyed.
So, yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Dizchord.
Oh, right. So Dizchord starts transmitting his music throughout the world, afflicting the blue-screened inhabitants of New York, London, Africa, China, Paris, Egypt.
Buenos Aires, Kyoto, Baghdad.
Wait, where are those scenes?
Oh, I was just looking through our lodger's passports to keep my mind off the noise.
I have so many questions I don't know where to start.
At the dock, the pain-stricken Megaforce Red is inspired by some nearby flowers. Before Vrak can finish off his weakened teammates, he arrives with a singing Megaforce Pink in tow.
I didn't know Emma could sing.
I didn't know she had magical powers.
In case circumstances were not absurd enough, not only is she able to make the barren trees blossom, but apparently her unamplified voice is also able to completely drown out Dizchord's song. Which makes me wonder if a school in the midst of a children's choir concert would also be spared, although that would be a different kind of torture.
And thus begins the Battle of the Bands, or, the showdown of the inexplicably orchestrated soloists.
The other Rangers keep Vrak occupied as Megaforce Red activates his Twiz Tornado power card to cast the sonically produced flower blossoms into the emitter, disrupting and ultimately cutting off the signal, much to the joy of ethnic stereotypes the world over.
Speaking of the world over, where did you get guys' passports? And why am I pluralizing that?
I have no information on the latter, although I found them concealed in a lockbox along with a folio containing some very interesting documents. Very interesting indeed.
What?
So the other 3 Rangers unite their 3 weapons into a compact Megaforce blaster to drive away Vrak as their compatriots morph to join the fray. Together, they further weaken Dizchord before destroying him with a completed Megaforce blaster victory charge.
Which, of course, cues our next set, as Vrak lets loose the Zombats to take things to the next level.
Let's go.
First, we have to thank you two.
No, you don't. Not unless you don't think you're going to survive the Zord battle. And if you don't move quickly, you won't.
Indeed. Some conversations can wait.
Like our conversation about how you got into Guy's lockbox?
Precisely. They summon the Megazord and counter Dizchord's sonic attacks with some percussive techniques of their own, before finishing off the monster with a Mega Strike.
Although Vrak tries to make light of their defeat.
Regrettably, Dizchord is no longer composing music. Instead, he's decomposing.
Admiral Malcor is having none of it, and informs both him and Creepox that he will not tolerate another mistake from either of them. Later, at the brain freeze, the Rangers enjoy some tasty treats, as Shailesh plays back a recording of his favorite new transcendental music.
I am not amused.
And that's the end of our episode. So, what did we think of it? Well,
That was the most atrociously barbaric, calamitous, dissonant excuse for grading hatefully incessant, just killingly laborious music, noted or performed quite resembling screamingly terrible undulating vocalizations with xylophonic yodeling zebras.
So, sounds like they did an accurate job portraying what a musical assault would feel like.
Quite accurate. I'd take Mozart and Chopin any day.
I agree. One place I feel this could have been better portrayed, though, was in the reactions, specifically with Mr. Burley and Shailesh. When you only have 2 recurring characters to represent the civilian population, and they're not already established as a jointly eccentric match set, having them both react to a threat in a decidedly atypical manner undermines that threat and dilutes the comedic value. If it was just one or the other, or there had been some interaction between the two, I think the punchline would have been a lot stronger.
I swear, if I hear that doorbell ring one more time, I'm installing it with a taser.
Hi!
We were just walking down the hall.
Tending to our laundry, and we couldn't help but notice your music.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was I being too loud?
Oh, no.
It's just that we were wondering.
Could we get it on 8-track?
I suppose I could make you an MP3?
Oh, no.
Just one will do.
I'll figure something out.
Thanks.
There's something seriously wrong with those people.
Yep.
Shall we conclude our review?
Let's. With the exception of Dino Thunder, Power Rangers has had something of a rough history with musically themed episodes, and this one's no exception. However, the issues here have less to do with the music itself and more to do with the plot.
Indeed. The excuse for incapacitating Megaforce Rangers Red and Pink was flimsy at best, and the ultimate resolution of the conflict was downright nonsensical, with Megaforce Pink's vocal talents somehow raising more eyebrows than her telekinetic botanical manipulations. Not to mention that this installment provided virtually no narrative advancement. Without a single addition to their arsenal, one has to wonder why it was produced at all.
While I agree that this episode might not have been the best use of their time, especially considering that they only have 20 episodes to adapt a full Sentai series, I also want to point out that it was not without its merits. Bizarre though it may have been, having Emma's song playing over the battle against Rock was a surprisingly pleasing juxtaposition of tone that we don't often see in PR, and there were a number of good character moments sprinkled throughout, including the implications regarding Emma's mother, Vrock's continued rivalry with Creepox, and Gia's persuasive nature.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Overall, though, it's hard to overlook the ill-explained ailments, absurd international stereotyping, and contrived and borderline nonsensical conflict resolution, making what is probably the weakest episode of Megaforce thus far. I mean, some of that can be explained away with a bit of theorizing, like saying that being outdoors meant that Troy and Emma had no protection from the initial attack, and that their later problems were because of the blast that demorphed them, and that Vrock's apparent V-Rock form is only used in situations where he's trying to avoid Malcor's notice, which of course raises the question of what his true agenda is, which may or may not have something to do with next season.
Clearly obsessive-compulsive, with erratic behavioral tendencies.
Oh, come on, that one wasn't even that far-fetched, and I thought we were done with the whole psychoanalysis thing.
Oh, no, these are notes from our lodger's lockbox.
Wait, what?
Oh, this is interesting.
Wait, Kay, is that about me, or, make sure to join us next time. We'll be looking at Who's Crying Now. Until then, farewell, Ranger fans, and let the power protect you. Kate, wait, what?